show us your tips. Midweek preview, 4th of August, 2021. Daggy and Beaver with you. Beaver boy, had the weekend treat you?
Yeah, mate. It's been an okay weekend and okay week. Can't complain too much, mates. Just weeding through the form, but yeah, the weekend was okay. Seems so long ago now.
Yeah, I think that off the top of my head, it's days tend to
Got the
drag.
quaddies, didn't we?
Yeah, we got we definitely got the Sydney quaddie, which paid just over 3.5. And I can't remember what happened at Moonee Valley now.
We got that too. But there was a couple of.
Yeah, So You Assume was a nice winner, and a couple late in the day we mentioned. I'm sure someone will correct us, but yeah, I think it was a pretty good day all around, and your Queensland ones all ran pretty well.
Yes, that's right.
It was a nice
some good results there, and yeah, particularly later in the day, I think we did quite well, which helped us make sure if you back some winners later in the way, you generally finish in front. I think Smoke and Romans won. So You Assume you liked one. Eloquently won the last at Eagle Farm.
Yeah.
So we got some nice winners there.
United Power actually, because that was the late one from yourself.
Yes,
they got the quaddie.
That was one from. Yes, that was a nice win. I thought if the track was playing the way it did, that Night and Power would be hard to beat, and proved right and paid about $8, I think.
Did, yeah, so that was a nice finish. So we move on. It is our officially we're going to our second year with Pro Group Racing, so we thank them for their support. And we head into the new racing season at Randwick Kensington, where it is a good track, a bit of wind around, but I've treated it as normal. I think you'll need some cover actually throughout the afternoon, but I've treated it as typical Kenzo. If you get a bit of a smother and slingshot out to the outside fence, by the end of the day, you're probably going to be close to in the money. We kick off with the 2-year-old, the new season 3-year-olds, I should say, over the 1550 in maybe one of the weakest races we've done on this show in a very long time. Did you want to start this?
Oh, look, mate, I didn't really like the first at all. Could be a bit of a trap race, but if I was going to have a pick and have a bet, and I'd probably go for the Waller-trained Military Man. I know it was only average on its first up, but that was on a heavy track. So expecting improvement on a firmer track here. McDonald aboard. It might be the one to play if you're looking to have a bet around the $4.50 mark.
Yeah, I probably won't be betting, but for the sake of a tip, I had Spitfire. It was okay on the heavy track at Gosford. The chase Sir Cracker trial before that probably gets the on-pace favours with Josh Barr. Do you want to take $2.20? Not really. You mentioned Military Man, and Bay of Keels now on a 10-day backup has been to Queensland and back in between. So what that means for a younger horse at this stage, it's probably going to be in the finish, but as I said, not an especially strong or interesting race for me. So we'll move on to the girls' version over the 1,100 metres though. But again, for the young horses, I think we'll learn a bit out of this race. And there's a little bit here. How do you line them all up?
Yeah, look, I think it's a pretty open affair, to be honest. And it wasn't easy to line up. A few horses that had only had one or two starts and probably hadn't shown their best, a couple of new starters, which made it even more difficult. I like the trials of Unwritten. Thought it was quite nice in the trials. Only had one start, which was in a really good grade company at its first outing. Resumes here, has trialled well. They spelled it after that, so obviously didn't come up as they would have thought. I'm willing to play Unwritten at around the $6 mark.
Last trial was fantastic there. The other one of interest to me, I guess, is Hamaki, number 4, Snowden horse. Bowman booked 2 trials where it was untouched and looked pretty good in both of them. Cruised around close enough to the pace. We'll see where it gets to in the run, but around the $9.50, I thought might have been thought is a good each way play. You mentioned Unwritten. I think Sir Cracker will improve back to the dry, but just what it is now, I'm not entirely sure. I guess we'll see. It'll need to show something today.
Yeah, Hamaki, I thought the same as you, but I just was a bit worried by the 11th gate. As you said, with some strong winds around, if they get a little bit caught wide today and have to face any headwind at any stage, it's going to be hard going.
Yeah,
adding even more zest to race.
Yeah, no, that is the. I guess that's why you get the 950 there. I will just mention that Hugh Bowman's come back in pretty good form since his brief layoff over winter. He's riding well, and Glenn Boss obviously has come back very hungry. He seems to be flying at the moment. Spring's obviously in the horizon because they're both getting their eye in. So two jockeys that I'm looking for a little bit more than I may have normally. Race number 3 is the boys' version of the 1100, where we see Trifascia. Well, it's a short price, and I just noticed this morning, but short price has come through the top 2-year-old stuff in a fantastic trial here. J-Mac booked, obviously, all systems go. So on top here for me. And I thought Ringer Rose, who chased the blue colours quite well on debut at this track and distance, will run well again. But just looking at the prices, no real surprise there. Did you have anything different here?
No, I think you're right. I think Trifascia is the horse to beat here. Expected to come back and get its first win under its belt in this affair. The only other one that I thought was worth watching is if Unwritten runs well in the earlier races. All England trialled well next to it, and it's about 40 to 1. So it might be an outside chance for a place.
Full brother to Britain, All England. A certain Italian stallion was offered a share in this one as well and turned it down. So old Vinny, but am I bold in today as a result?
That might be a good shout. So I didn't. Thanks for telling me that. I might have a little sneaky on that just to rub it in if it wins.
Yeah, let him know for sure. Let's get to race number 4, where again the market's in the right order, and I'm pretty keen to bet here. Kate is off a dominant Saturday win back to Wednesday grade. There's not much else here to beat. It's already beaten up Yukon. Gets the right draw for this time of the day, as we've said, and J-Max on. And you're getting around $2.50, $2.40 here. So quite keen to back it. I already have, and don't have much more to add.
Yeah, I think you're right here. I'm quite surprised by the price, to be honest. It beat up Yukon last start, and outside of the two of them, the rest of the field has pretty average form. I mean, you're going to horses that are sort of on the 4th and 5th line of betting that have got 0, 0, 0, 6, 7, 6, 2, 6, 3, 5, 0 as their form lines. Look, there's not a lot in this race, and Yukon would have to really turn it around to beat Kate here. So surprised it's not closer to even money.
Yeah, no, I think it may well be by the end of the day. There might be through all ups from Trifascia into it, actually. The only sort of fly in the ointment I had was if Nash really puts a foot down on Majorati from that gate and tries to take off and spread them out. But I guess we'll wait and see. That's the only concern.
I suspect that wouldn't hurt the fave anyway, because I think you'd want a little bit of pace on to finish down the middle of the track like it did last start. So any pace would be good.
Yeah, that's right. So then you get the two Waterhouse in control there, but I still think that's still an easy bet to have. As is, depending how short you like your favourites. Race number 5, the 1550 metre benchmark 72. Same again. He's off a dominant Saturday win. A leader back to Wednesday grade, so it's going to get complete control here. J-Mac on as well, and there's no chasers. It's the all up I've had today, and I don't have much more to add again. You saw it the same?
Yeah, I mean, the price tells it all. I think 2 starts is prep, both wins, 3rd up today, so should be cherry ripe against horses that second favourite 1 placing in the last 5, the 3rd favourite 1 placing in the last 5. Crazy Wolf won its last start, but in lesser grade. You know, East India Man, no placings. They'd have to jump out of the ground. It does happen sometimes in these midweek affairs, but trying to find which one.
Yeah. I guess your only decision is, are you happy? Do you want to back it or not? And if not, you sit back and wait for the next.
Yeah.
Race number 6 is the next. Again, over the 1550, a benchmark 72. A bit of a wider market, Beaver. Did you find anything here?
Yeah, this is a much wider market and a little bit more form to line up here, but a fairly small field, only 8 in it, with 5 sort of chances according to the market. Did find this a little bit more trickier. I ended up coming back to Mystique Rebel. I thought while it's one in week at company, it is a horse on the way up. It's only had the 2 starts for a second and a first, one pretty easy. It's maiden at Kembla Grange. After a nice second at the Kensington track, behind a horse that's shown a little bit of ability in Silly Point. Good track, so that was on a soft track, back to a good track at Kembla, showed its class. Gets the drier track today, drawn on the inside, so that's a bit of a plus, I think. Will go forward and may well be hard to catch.
Yeah, no, it's got map Racing New South Wales has it right on leaders back, which is perfect. I agree with everything you said. I had it on top as well. Gets a nice run here. Both at starts have been pretty good. The 2 at the top of the weights are the main dangers. Arctic Thunder. Good luck to Carol in connections there. He's back from a midway where it ran pretty well. And Ice Crush is an interesting one. Stable Change. It's got pretty good form from Adelaide for something like this. It's I don't tend to find them coming over, but I've had a bit of luck with it over there. I would have expected to be about $8 or $9 in it. I think it might be by the time we get to jump. I could back it around there. I wouldn't take this price, but yeah, Mystic Rebel on top for me as well. We wrap up the day with the benchmark 72 over the 1100 meters, where Nags to Riches is again short. Are you interested in this price or even the horse?
I thought it was, yeah, I thought it was a little bit short. I know it won well first up, been freshened a little bit here after a recent trial that was quite nice, but I was willing to get a bet against it, and I went for the Northern Country provincial horse in Parksville that they brought to town from the Dodson yard. I think this is a good pointer that they're coming all the way to Sydney off a horse that has trialled really well and went out for a spell after 3 really nice wins. It wasn't far away when I think it raced in a maiden race at Eagle Farm on soft going against some okay horses, and then after that was really dominant at Coffs, Ballina, and then Coffs again before being spelled. Won its trial at Coffs Harbour by 6.5 lengths without even being pushed. So I think it will probably try and burn across from the gate 10 and may well be hard to run down. Again, a few other horses resuming. Zelify is an obvious danger. But yeah, I think this horse could be hard to beat.
Yeah, I'm against the favourite too. Interested to see what this horse has, because obviously it's done a lot right in its career, even though it doesn't have the metro stuff just yet. I just don't think Nags to Riches, there's a bit of a hollowness to its form, and it was disappointing the time it did come to town, I thought. So I ended up putting Zelify on top again, had the metro win at Canterbury, freshen up, no trial, and the 3 months between runs here to 1100s interesting for me. So he's has used this formula quite well at the midweeks in the last sort of 6 months. So happy to follow it there. And very interested to see what Parkfield's got, and happy to take on the favourite. For progroupracing.com.au, do you have a best and value on a maybe a thin Kensington day?
Yeah, look, my best bet of the day comes up in race 4, number 2, Katea. I think it'll be hard to beat. And my value bet comes up in race 2, number 7, Unwritten.
Very good. Yeah, Katea is my best too. I think the 2 Saturdays back to Wednesdays are perfect setups. Happy to all up them. Katea and Yee as my best. And my value will be in the last day, Zelify, just taking on the favourite. So we'll see how that pans out. As I mentioned, check out progroupracing.com.au for their free tips and extensive guides. As we head down south to the transferred Cranbourne meeting, we're at Moe now on a heavy 10 and just looking through a swag of scratchings here as well. So we'll see how these tips even stack up as we run through. Heavy 10 track Moe, given I've done the form for Cranbourne, not ideal either. So I'm leaving the first alone Beaver, and given all the scratchings, did you have anything you wanted to play there?
No, mate, it's the same thing. A very short priced favourite there should win, but happy to leave that alone.
Race 2, 1,300 metre maiden again. And again, scratchings have played their parts. Anything here?
No, I didn't have anything here either, mate. I thought this was a bit of a trap race. Hard to line up the form. Nothing really to get a good line on. You know, the two favourites in the market. Last few runs have been average at best, and there's a first starter, so it won't have to be great to win. And the strolls were okay, so yeah, left that alone.
Race number 3, the start of the cards, all the early season 3-year-olds, is the Mile Maiden, where I was looking towards Marquess, Damien Oliver, and James Cummings. Led them up on a soft track before and held on pretty well. I think gets lead here, and obviously Cranbourne would have suited that a bit better, but Moe gets lead here and might be the hardest to run past. Did you have anything?
Nah, the favourite's very short, mate, but he'll be winning. Sorry, I can't go with you there. It's first 2 runs have been really good. You know, it was that less than 2 lengths off a really good field with Sienna's Express and Foxy Friday at Flemington. Second start over 1,700, back to 1,600 here, but that won't hurt it. It'll be too good for these.
Race number 4 is the 2,040 metre benchmark 70, where the scratching of Jungle Jane helps the favourite here, Lady in the Sky. I think it rolls forward, gets pretty much control of this race off its win at Sandown, and will be hard to get past. Obviously scared of the impressive Mick Kent trained Royale, which will be the main chaser, I think. How have you lined them up?
Yeah, I flipped him. I went for Royale. I thought its last start win was very good. Produced third up today, won at Moe last start, so it is a winner at the track, and gets a little 1.5 kilo claim, so gets in at 54 kilos. So the favourite's got to give it 6.5 kilos, and I think that may be enough to be the difference in the end.
Race number 5 is the Mile Benchmark 70. You like anything here?
Look, I think it's a tricky little affair. I thought $1 Million Bill was okay first up. I thought it worked home quite nicely. In a race won by Turith, which I tipped, and I thought it's got a little bit of ability. So it was first up over the 1,400. I think the extra distance here of the 1,600 certainly plays in its favour. I think it gets the nice run here and around this $4 mark. I think it could be the hardest to beat.
Yeah, I end up, look, I'm scared of the favourite. I think the favourite's an absolute swimmer, so that the wet suits. Craig Newitt goes on board now. That's on face mask. But I think Capodanno now gets control of the race. Ben Mellum on it, sat outside lead, first up at Sandown and just got nabbed by Love Planet in a reasonable race. I think here it may well hold on. But the market set probably has the 3 we've mentioned all pretty close, and we're not really expressing too much outside of the box there. Race number 6, 1,200 metre benchmark 70, where I really liked the win of Brazen Bully last start. Really hit the line quite well. Moe suits it better than actually I would have probably taken it on at Cranbourne if it had been a real leaders track, but I think Moe probably suits. The only concern I had was the map. The price might be a concern, but I think it's the easy on top of here.
Yeah, I thought the same. I thought it's going to be super hard to beat. Yeah, I just like the way it's going. This preparation really going very well, and yeah, I think everything sets up okay for it here. A couple of scratchings, and looks the hardest to beat.
The second last is a benchmark 74 over the 1,200 metres. What have you done here?
Yeah, it's an interesting little race. I went looking for something here, but ended up coming back to the Moody trained Oliver driven Kalani Kiss. Been a bit of money for it. Won well on the heavy track. broke its maiden there at Cranbourne. Probably would have preferred it at Cranbourne, but not to be, given both its starts have been there. But nonetheless, I think it gets the right draw here on the inside, probably goes forward, rolls off the fence around the bend, and it's going to be hardest to beat. Probably has the race fitness edge over Capri Lane, who's trialled in Sydney and has some reasonably good form around the Canberra Nowra area in Sydney. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It's got 62 kilos. Luckily, it's got the claim, but again, just the weight pull going the other way of about 3 kilos, I think might be enough. And Oliver aboard.
Yeah, I'm with Kalani Kiss too. I thought it was a nice win, sitting outside lead on the wet track there at Cranbourne. Same setup here. Obviously, get through the wet all right, and might have a bit of ability. My best of the day there, Kalani, on a tough program. And we wrap up with the 2,050 metre benchmark 64, where I swear Eaglemont was a bigger price than this when I did the form. It's now favourite.
Yeah, it was.
I'm with it.
It opened about 350.
Yeah. I thought it was even longer than that, but that's okay. I'm with it. I liked its Australian debut. Got through, hit the line quite nicely at Hillside. And this sets up well for it in not a strong race. I'm happy to be with it, to finish the day with Eaglemont. Are you doing the same?
Yeah, I think you're probably about right there. This horse has some nice overseas form. Its first up Australian run was pretty good. This is a very, very weak affair. It won't get an easier race to win than this. So if it's got any ability and any plans of going further, it'll need to win this. Maybe number 4, Alexander Hamilton, as the main danger around the $10 mark.
Very good. For progroupracing.com.au, check out them for their free tips and extensive guides. Look, I've struggled to find some value on the program, but I do like the last 2 races. Kalani Kiss, race 7, number 10 is my best, and race 8, number 2, Eaglemont. So I'm going to finish the day there. How have you played the card?
Yeah, I think there might be a bit of a day for favourites here at Maui, and you can just keep rolling into those. But my best of the days, I'm just going to take a multi, race 3, number 6, Awesome Sun, and I'm going to roll that into race 6, number 6, Brazen Bully is my best of the day. And the best value that I could come up with was in race, where did I have that? Race 4, I think. Number 7, Royale, around the $5 mark.
Yeah, no, that's probably the longest pricing I could be interested in, actually. Very good. Maybe we can link through those 4 favourites and get a result there. Let's head up north. You got anything for us in Queensland?
Yeah, I did have a couple in Queensland that I thought would be hard to beat today. Only 7 races on the card, but I came up with race 3, number 3, McCovey Cove. I think it'll be hard to beat today. Got back to winning form last start, so I think it can continue on with that. I did like the resuming race 5, number 4, Spokesman from the Wallace stable. I think that will be hard to beat. And then I was also interested in race 6, number 3, Short Sarah. I thought it was ultra impressive last start, and I think it can continue on its winning ways.
Excellent. That wraps up our thoughts for midweek racing on the 4th of August. We'll be back on Thursday night with our look towards Saturday, the first Metro meeting of the season, and I might set you some homework, Beaver. Have a look for some couple of horses to follow through the spring, a couple of future bets maybe that we can dig up for the punters. I'll do the same, and maybe a couple to follow you through the spring. But until then, good luck today. And as I go and give the youngsters some breakfast, good luck today, punters, and we will talk to you shortly.